All right, guys, I am down here in Molokai in Hawaii. I've been down here hunting axis deer for the last 5 days. I had a chance to use the new UV Slider 2 sight. So I wanted to do a brief product overview of this new sight from Ultraview Archery. So first and foremost, overall weight I think is important to talk about. This is a really lightweight, compact, clean sight. If you compare this sight to a lot of the other sights on the market, you can see that there's not a lot of excess bolts and nuts and tensioners kind of hanging off the sight. It's really clean, stream, and line. Total weight of this sight for the bridge lock version is going to be 9.2 ounces, I believe. They do make 3 different mounting options of this sight. They're going to do the Picatinny rail if you're shooting a Hoyt or some of the other bows that have got that pick mount on the front or the riser, or if you're shooting a bow that's got the standard mount on the side, they do make a standard mount option. Obviously this one is the bridge lock. The new sight here, the new slider, you can see that they've kind of removed that bend from the dovetail mount that the original one had. That's nice because it kind of brings everything more in line with the riser, which is the intent of this bridge lock technology in a Matthews bow anyway. The new sight also has 2 mounting holes, so you can see I've got mine right there mounted closer. There actually is another one that's a little bit further back, so if you want to push this dovetail slightly out further away from the riser, you can do so. It has the dial here, the dual dial, which is really handy. I would say it's the most comfortable and quick to get to dial of any sight on the market. It's super simple with this tension level here. You just pop that up with your pointer finger and then you can make that adjustment with the wheel and then lock that back in very easily. I definitely think it's the best, most comfortable dial of any sight on the market. It does come with sight tapes on both sides. So you've got a sight tape at a 45-degree angle here to the inside, and you also have another one here on the outside. That's an interesting option because it could allow you to set up different arrow weights. So if you're going to a tack event, you're shooting a lightweight arrow to get maximum yardage, you could set up one tape for that arrow on the inside and a different tape on the outside, maybe for your hunting arrows. Something that I've been playing around with is using an inner sight tape here out to 100, which is what I can get with my top pin, and then a outside sight tape, which I will put on the outside of this. It will allow me to know where my impact point is when I use my bottom pin as my slider, maybe out to even 130. So I would run that outside tape from maybe 100 to 130 just for fun if I wanted to shoot some arrows up at the range. It does have the multi-axis leveling option, so you get your first axis, your second axis, and your third axis leveling within this sight. You can see that this option is a 3-pin on a single vertical pin post. They do make a single pin option with just 1 pin right in the middle. They also have a 3-pin horizontal that's going to come in from the side, and then a 5-pin version, which is what I like. Within that 5-pin version, you can adjust the 20, 30, 50, and 60 within the housing up and down. The middle pin is a 40 pin, is a stationary pin, but you can basically kind of set that up for whatever configuration you want. And you can use any one of those pins. You could use the single pin, the top pin, or the bottom pin, or even the middle 40-yard pin as your slider if you wanted to. I played with different options just to see how it holds and feels. Ultimately end up probably using the bottom pin as my slider on that 5-pin. The cartridges for these are super easy to interchange. You have a set screw right here on the outside. You basically open that thing up and you can pull this back cartridge out, put in a new cartridge, tighten in the set screw, and it's super easy to put in a new cartridge. If you want to shoot a single pin at leagues or maybe a 3D and you want to be really exact and then switch to a 5-pin for hunting, that's a really easy option. The sight here I have has the sight light option. So you can see this little light housing right here. If I click that on, it will highlight my individual pins. This is rechargeable. That's an aftermarket purchase. When you get this sight, it's a nice little addition if the state that you're hunting allows for sight lights, but that's a cool little option. You can see you've got the green level bubble there in the bottom, really bright, super easy to see in the housing. Your windage adjustments, I should talk about, really easy. You pop those out, you've got micro clicks as you spin this either left or right, and kind of, maybe you can hear that, but Your windage adjustments are really easy, super simple to make on the side of the housing. So I talked a little bit about the pin options. I also should note that your individual indicators here on the inside there at the tape, you've got 3 of them on this sight, and I can adjust those to how they relate to my pins and my housing and how my bow end. So you can see right now, if I have mine in default with my top pin at 20 yards, my second pin is about 37 yards and my bottom pin's almost 50 dead nuts. So as I slide those pins, those little indicators, I have a good idea of what my pins are going to be as I slide that housing down with the slider. So those individual indicator pins are adjustable. You can do that. The sight also has a 0 stop. So when you get your default, you want to be able to very quickly return to that. You just slide up and it's going to engage, it's going to hit that top stop so that you know that your default, which is a nice little feature. And then lastly, probably the thing I would note is for traveling, this housing comes off completely and you can just slide that out. There's a little tab right here at the bottom and you just open it up and pop that thing off. The UV Slider 2 comes with a really nice little soft case that everything fits in. So for traveling, it's great. You can just simply remove that. You could pull the sight bar out, pack everything away, get to camp, put it back together, take some test shots, and it should be dead nuts right back on track with where you sighted it in. Overall though, really well thought out, super lightweight sight. I think UV has continued to push the envelope in what you might expect or want out of a sight. Best style, I think, on the market. Durable hunting sight. I think it's a really good mix of being lightweight but also durable. Anyway, check that out. If I missed anything, drop me a question. You know, we got them in the GOHUNT gear shop, so check them out right now. UV Slider 2.